Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my May TBR. So for the month of May, I'm going to be participating in the Once Upon a Readathon Treasure Island edition hosted by Hannah from her channel Hannah Blackwell. I will link her channel in the description box down below along with her announcement video for this readathon. Basically, I'll just give a brief rundown. There will be 4 teams. Team Pirates, Team Merfolk, Team Djinn, and Team Dragons. Now, Merfolk and Pirates will be on the water side, which makes them allies. Team Djinn and Team Dragons are allies because they're both on the fire side. I am on Team Djinn, which is captained by Kristen over from the channel Kristen Craves Books. Now, this is a really laid-back readathon. Any book you read counts. It is a playfully competitive readathon as well, which means that I'm on Team Djinn. If I read a book that had another team's mascot in it from the water side, pirates or mermaids, merfolk, anything related to those, then I gain extra points and I attack their team. I subtract points from them. Because I'm on Team Djinn, I would not be able to read a book with dragons in it and gain more points. Because they're my ally, I can't attack my ally, right? Any book counts for this. It counts as points. You can only attack the opposite element of your team. You cannot attack your ally. So I was going through my Goodreads TBR. I made a list of 7 books that I am going to put towards this readathon. I am such a mood reader, so the fact that any book counts as points is really just really great for me. Also, if you read a book, I believe this is a part of it as well, if you read a book that has any water setting, you gain extra points for that as well. So you gain extra points for reading books with another team's mascot. That is not your ally. And you gain extra points for reading a book that has a water setting in general because this is a Treasure Island themed readathon. Let's get to the books, shall we? Let's do it. Book number 1 that I'm going to be putting towards this readathon is Rolling in the Deep by Mira Grant. So Rolling in the Deep is a thriller, potentially horror. I am not a horror reader, so I am hoping this is more on the thriller side. We shall see. We shall see. Kristen told me that she thinks that, because she read this already, and she told me she thinks it's a little bit of both. She can't really say it's one or the other. It's a mix of both. So I'm like, please be thriller. Please be more of a thriller. But anyway, here is what this is about. When the Imagine Network commissioned a documentary on mermaids to be filmed from the cruise ship Atargatis, they expected what they had always received before, an assortment of eyewitness reports that proved nothing, some footage that proved even less, and the kind of ratings that only came from peddling imaginary creatures to the masses. They didn't expect actual mermaids. They certainly didn't expect those mermaids to have teeth. This is a story of the Atargatis lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a maritime tragedy. Whatever the truth may be, it will only be found below the... I can't pronounce this word. This word right here, word of the day, bathypelagic zone. Is that how you pronounce that? In the Mariana Trench. At the bottom, okay? We're just gonna say found below the deepest depths of the Mariana Trench. There you go. And the depths are very good at keeping secrets. This is a prequel novella, the book Into the Drowning Deep. That is book number 1. So Into the Drowning Deep is book number 1. Rolling in the Deep, this one is the prequel novella to that one. So, of course, my book number 2 that I'm going to be jumping right into after that one is going to be Into the Drowning Deep. Here is basically what happens in the premise for this one. Now a new crew has been assembled, but this time they're not out to entertain. Some seek to validate their life's work. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. some seek the truth. But for the ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister that she lost. Whatever the truth may be, it will only be found below the waves, but the secrets of the deep come with a price. And in the first one, they called it a mockumentary. This is taking place 7 years after that tragic event with these evil mermaid creatures. It says 7 years ago, the Outer Goddess set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary, bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax and others have called it the maritime tragedy. So our main character in this one lost her sister that was on that mockumentary expedition, and she's going back herself. Now she's going to uncover the truth. Will they make it out alive? We shall see. We shall see. Book number 3 that I'm going to be putting towards this readathon for points is called The Lightkeeper by Sherry Shinoda. Sherry Shinoda. First off, look at this cover. Beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. This, I have not seen this on anybody's radar, so this I think is going to be a hidden gem. I love coming across books that are rare that no one's talking about, so let me just read you the premise of this one. In this hauntingly beautiful novel, a nameless lightkeeper, ageless and outside of time, is pulled through time to tend lighthouses on far shores, battling danger, loneliness, uncertainty, and despair. What begins as the burial of a lighthouse keeper on a routine assignment soon transforms into the greatest adventure of her life and a path to a more distant shore. Through this journey, she learns what it means to be human and to love, especially when death is a certainty. This is a 5-star prediction for me. It's beautiful. It sounds atmospheric, and we all know how I am about atmosphere. Yes. All right, book number 4 that I'm going to be putting towards this list is actually the one book that I know for sure that I want to complete for my team mascot, and that's going to be The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is book number 1 in the Sandsea trilogy. It's neither here nor there, but long ago. Luli is the midnight merchant, a criminal who, with the help of her djinn bodyguard, hunts and sells illegal magic. When she saves the life of a cowardly prince, she draws the attention of his powerful father, the Sultan, who blackmails her into finding an ancient lamp that has the power to revive the barren land at the cost of sacrificing all djinn. With no choice but to obey or be executed, Luli journeys with the Sultan's oldest son to find the artifact. Aided by her bodyguard, who has secrets of his own, they must survive ghoul attacks, outwit a vengeful djinn queen, and confront a malicious killer from Luli's past. And in a world where story is reality and illusion is truth, Luli will discover that everything, her enemy, her magic, even her own past, is not what it seems, and she must decide who she will become in this new reality. The gripping tale of a legendary smuggler, a cowardly prince, and a dangerous quest across the desert to find a legendary magical lamp. So, Aladdin. Like maybe an adult version of Aladdin with like added in fantastical elements of other creatures. This is like really, I mean, when I think of magical lamp, I think of the genie from Aladdin, and you know, we all love him. And this is making me like want to paint. There's a painting I have like in particular that I want to paint of, you know, like the magic, like our magic carpet with the lamp, with our magic lamp at the bottom, and like the smoke coming up out of the top, like towards our magic carpet. Like I'm kind of feeling like I want to paint this, like I want to paint that now, considering my team and our theme here. I think I might be inspired to paint this. To be continued, if I do paint what I'm talking about. I will, of course, show it to y'all. Book number 5 is Tides of Mutiny by Rebecca Road. I have not seen this come across anybody else's radar or video, so this might be another hidden gem. Lane Garrow has a secret, one that could get her killed. In a world where female sailors are executed, 16-year-old Lane's dream of being a ship's captain seems impossible. Sea life is all she knows, and she wouldn't give it up for anything, even if it means she has to hide as a captain's boy to avoid being killed. But Lane's carefully constructed world begins to crumble when an old pirate enemy comes after her father, and she begins hearing rumors that her father was once a pirate as well. Lane doesn't want to believe that her father could have a dark past, but she can't help questioning everything she's known. After all, Lane's life at sea is built on lies. Why couldn't her father's be too? I did, in one of the reviews for this, I did hear that one person said it was even better than Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. Now I'm going to tell you right now, that is a pretty bold statement. I think a lot of us love Daughter of the Pirate King. I mean, I have that's up on my shelf somewhere. I love Trisha Levenseller is one of my favorite authors because she is like the queen of sarcasm and funny humor, light reads, and Daughter of the Pirate King was my first book that I read by her. Fantastic. And a lot of people are reading that, are going to be reading that for this readathon, which is an excellent choice. Excellent choice. So we will see if that person who wrote that review is accurate or not. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, so I'm kind of excited to get to this and see what I think. The next book that I want to read towards this readathon is going to be Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Now, this is my first introductory book to Neil Gaiman. I have not read anything by him, and honestly, out of the list of Neil Gaiman books, this is the only one that really interested me, and it's clearly with the name, I wanted to give it a try. So the setting is in England. We have a middle-aged man. He returns to his childhood home to attend a funeral. Although the house he lived in is long gone, he is drawn to the farm at the end of the road where when he was 7, he encountered a most remarkable girl, Letty, and her mother and grandmother. He hasn't thought of Letty in decades, and yet as he sits by the pond, a pond that she claimed was an ocean, behind the ramshackle old farmhouse, the unremembered past comes flooding back. And it is a past too strange, too frightening, and too dangerous to have happened to anyone, let alone a small boy. 40 years prior, something tragic happened in this place. Some darkness starts to become unleashed. It's taking its toll. I did hear that this book was weird. It's like a weird thriller, so we shall see. And then book number 7 that I'm going to be putting towards this readathon is Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. This was a new release, and this is a really short novella. Yeah, it's like 150 pages. It says Esther's family was torn apart when a manticore killed her mother and baby brother, leaving her with nothing but her father's painful silence and a single overwhelming need to kill the monsters that took her family. She's basically monster hunting, creature hunting, and she partners up with a creature herself. And I'm assuming that it's this creature, this eagle, this huge eagle, beautiful, majestic bird on the front of the cover. Now, I am attracted to this because of this magnificent bird, this eagle-looking bird, falcon eagle-looking bird on the front. I want to know what's happening here. I want to know what this is about. Also, it looks like she is standing on the front of a ship. Okay? Because that looks that way to me, I'm thinking that she's traveling over the ocean. So I'm hoping that this does take place on water, at least part of it, so I can get extra points in the readathon for taking place in a water setting. But we shall see about this one. Okay, so this is editing me just popping in to say that I completely missed a book. So instead of 7, it would be a total of 8 that I want to put towards this readathon. That is water themed. It is The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst. Claire's grown up triple checking locks, counting her steps, second guessing every decision. It's just how she's wired. Her worst case scenarios never actually come true.
until she arrives at an off-the-grid summer camp to find a blackened, burned husk instead of a lodge and no survivors except her and 2 other late arrivals. When the 3 girls find a dead body in the woods, they realize none of this is an accident. Someone or something is hunting them, something that hides in the shadows, something that refuses to let them leave. So we have an outdoor wilderness type of mystery summer camp style thriller, which I am on like a thriller kick right now, a thriller mystery kick. So, but it's centered around a lake at a lake house. Obviously, it's water themed. This would be number 8 that I'm adding towards the readathon.
Also, I do have an honorable mention for those of you that are watching this and need a recommendation for another water setting book. Would be this one right here, Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. This is one of my favorite YA fantasy series. I love it. And the cover is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Female badass number 1. Okay. They're not pirates though. They're not pirates. They're a badass female crew running the ships. It's fantastic. The world building in this is fantastic. It's character driven. The characters are fleshed out in such a fantastic way. There's plot twists. The writing, I mean, this is a solid 5-star series in my opinion. But I highly recommend this if you want a book in a water setting. This is good. All right, that is my May TBR. The ones that I definitely want to put towards the Once Upon a Readathon Treasure Island readathon happening in June. Again, I will link Hannah's announcement video in the description box down below if you want to go check out the in-depth details. And she has also written a very beautiful story for this readathon as well, like whole story behind finding the treasure. We're finding hidden treasure. I would highly recommend checking that out. I would love to see you over there in the Discord. Let's have a great time. Let's do this readathon. Super fun. Because of the theme of this video, if you have made it this far, leave me a treasure chest emoji or a wave emoji, something with water. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button so you can know every single time that I upload a new video. And as always, happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.